I mean, I think, let me just make sure that we're actually recording here. I always have that panic attack. Can you say something? One thing that I think you and I both can empathize with is just like how much goes in to developing a brand and an identity of a business. And there's so much that goes into it. I think people think about developing the brand almost as like what you do after something.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that first decision of how I'm going to develop my business, how I'm going to build my business. But ultimately, what I've noticed in my career, and I think you've noticed this as well, is that brand is the money making.
It is.
Right?
It's got to be one of your first things that you work on. And it honestly, if you think about where you come from and how you started a situation or how you started a company and you're a founder, right? Like your brand is what got you to make that decision to do it in the first place. Mm-hmm. And so like, even when we started F3, it was a continuation of my brand at Toast. Yeah. I was the guy that went and worked 80 hours a week. I didn't leave till the customer was 100% raving for us as Toast, right?
Yeah.
So I took that idea, that identity as Chicago Dan or Toast Dan, right? And turned it into F3. And so I think that is what ultimately led me to continue on my brand, which was just rebranding it as F3.
Yeah.
Same with you guys, right? You guys had a brand, you wanted to make changes in the industry, mm-hmm. and you rebranded it to fit to Tab.
Yeah, completely. Like, I think when people make purchases, it's a lot more than just that immediate what this product provides, right? So
it should be.
Sometimes,
yeah.
I guess it isn't. But I think about like, well, what it is that we do. We're providing a free credit card. It doesn't cost you anything. But yet people are making an investment in us, right? And they need to understand that, hey, if they have a problem, they're going to talk to a human being, right? That understands hospitality because they've been trained by restaurants, they've been trained in hospitality. Ultimately, that brand now for us is the reason why we win deals. It's the reason why we're going up against multi-billion-dollar businesses and winning, because we have a brand that people are willing to invest in. They're willing to put their time into. And at the same time, we're willing to give our time out of our day to help them through their process. And the result is that we all win.
Yeah. I was just speaking with someone earlier about the importance of that human interaction and that understanding and empathy for restaurants in their tech stack. We were talking with Summer Moon, that's what it was. And they were like, this is a key component for us because you need to know someone's got your back, right?
Yeah.
It's 2025, you have AI everywhere, you have ChatGPT on your phone. My son uses it for homework sometimes, but like, it's not the same as sitting there and figuring out together or like asking someone for help.
Yeah.
Knowing that a human has your back or can help you in a situation, and that'll never be taken away. People might think it goes away. It will never go away. We can look at the restaurant industry as a whole, right? We all thought after COVID, robots and, line busting and stuff like that would be the solve to the problem of not enough hospitality workers being back. It didn't solve it. It was a little bit of a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
But like it didn't solve the problem because people want the interaction. You go to a restaurant not just for the food, you go for the ambiance, you go for the perfection of what it is. And depending on what restaurant you're at, it could be the chips, it could be the margaritas, it could be the salsa, it could be the pizza. But you go back there for that, not for, they have this really cool board or robots or a drone that delivers your food. They don't want that.
No.
It's cool for a little bit, but nothing will overtake that human empathy, that compassion, that being there for you and understanding.
Well, I always say that like the majority of meals that we eat at a restaurant, we can make at home.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you could probably make that same food to a similar degree at home for cheaper. But you don't because you're buying more than food at a restaurant. You're buying being around people. You're buying knowing that when I go in, some server's going to ask me about my day and be a part of it. And, I think what's really unique about the restaurant industry is as we see things automate in other industries, there's still this tactile person-to-person, the emotion of another individual helping you through a process, right? And to me, that's why restaurants have always succeeded. Because in times of celebration, you go out to eat.
Yeah.
In times of mourning, you go out to eat. You know, when there's a recession, there's still people going to restaurants. Yeah, they might not be going to that Michelin star restaurant anymore, but they're going somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Because that little moment of that little bit of spare change you might have if you don't have a lot of the times it's being spent on food.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so cool about the restaurant industry is how it supports a culture of celebration, of coming together and quite literally breaking bread.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. I mean, you've had meals with me before, and anyone that knows me, my wife gets annoyed by it. She calls me extra. I will order extra because to me, sharing a meal with my work friends, with the people I travel with, it's a big deal to me. And if you are invited to my table to have a meal with me, like you're in my circle to a degree. Mm-hmm. And having those conversations. And at the same time though, but I'm also watching you and how you interact with the server staff.
Yeah.
Are you nice to them?
Yeah.
Are you Mr. Pink from Reservoir Dogs? Like, how do you react to those situations, right? Because that tells me how you are as a person.
Yeah.
You are correct. It is mourning. It is celebration. It is breakups. It's all of it. That's food. You know, I took my wife last year for her birthday to Alenia. And I was blown away by the way they were like a synchronized dance.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, I had a bit of a moment because like, watching them do what they do, I can see how what we do as an IT provider, as an installer, as a helper for the restaurant industry helps them do that.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't have to worry about their tech stack. They know we got their back.
Yeah.
So they can do this crazy thing that they do. And if you have not been there yet, I highly suggest you go there. Everything is synchronized. It is a well choreographed dance by 30 people. And it's just perfect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what makes hospitality so amazing, right? It goes so much further than just the meal. And there's so much that goes into it to make sure that that moment can happen and can happen consistently.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's a big thing that a lot of people don't necessarily see and recognize is just how much goes into ensuring that this meal is repeatable.
Yeah.
That this process is repeatable, that this experience is repeatable. Because you went in this one time and you're probably going to get excited and go again.
Yeah.
And if it's not the exact same.
Every 3 months, and I'm like, let's go again.
Exactly.
Let's go again.
The food changes, but the experience probably needs to be the same. Right? And that's what's so cool about it. Now, I looked at innovations in the restaurant industry like AI. And I have some couple beliefs as to how this will change in the restaurant industry, but I'm curious, what do you think is going to be the biggest core change to a restaurant as they implement AI, let's say in the back office?
So I think that because of the pandemic and everything that we've gone through the past 5 years, we've lost a lot of tribal knowledge from the restaurant industry. Those people that can look at a palette and know how many cups are there, they're gone, right? So this new generation of people who are in the industry, but they don't know all the ins and outs yet, right? So I think AI will help them survive and kind of come up to speed faster, I hope. That's the goal, right? Because if you can use AI to do predictive, seat mapping or sales or staffing or cuts, all that stuff, eventually you'll start to understand what the algorithm is inside your own head, right? Yeah. All right, so we are down in sales today by 6%, I should cut 14% of labor, right? So again, that shortage that we went through with the pandemic, like it hurt. But now you have this new blood that has to come up to speed. Yeah. And so I think that's where AI will really help the most. Again, like my Summer Moon conversation was that they want to use AI to automate not the ordering itself, but to make it faster, less clicks, but more time spent with the customer who's ordering the coffee. Yeah. So like that could be a perfect tool to help you spend more time with the people walking into your restaurant.
That's exactly where I saw this going as well. And I was talking to an operator a few weeks back two individuals, CEO, CFO, Joe Heeb was the guy who was talking from Ducanos. And an individual who at first glance you might not necessarily think would be the first to adopt AI. But the thing that he said to me that was really quite impactful was AI is going to give us the opportunity to get back in front of the guest. Right? If I can ensure that whatever process I was spending in the back office going through, if I can sit in front of that guest longer, I can provide a better guest experience. They're more likely to come back. They're more likely to have a better experience. They're more likely to tell their friends. And so when you look to other industries, you see how AI is potentially eliminating jobs and taking away a lot of the human experience in the restaurant. I think it's the complete opposite.
I agree.
I think it's the opportunity for operators to go back to what they're truly great at, which is people and food and hospitality.
Yeah.
It's not sitting in front of an Excel spreadsheet.
No, absolutely not. So you look, Excel spreadsheet is a prime example, right? How many tipping, right? Yeah. Tipping in POS is always going to be painful because every single restaurant does tipping differently, right? So if you can take back that, call it 2 hours a week spent going through the tip pool to make life easier for that operator, they now have 2 hours more, not just with the restaurant, but also with their own family to a degree.
Yes.
You know, you're a founder, you understand the battery drain that you go through every day. And so I talk about this with my wife, you know, I finish up with work and I am just brain dead. You know, I get on the phone for 9 hours, I've charged my phone twice, my battery is dead.
Yeah.
Right? But if I can use AI, or as an operator in the hospitality, you can use AI to save a little bit more of that battery, it won't just affect the restaurant he's in, but also their personal life.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more energy they have for their friends, for their family.
Yeah.
Go for a walk, walk their dogs, or it may be.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is also a key component of like getting back from AI. I'm hoping. I mean, or we're just going to end up blowing up. I don't know. I hope not. But, you know, I'd like to believe, though, that like using AI smartly can give you back some more time.
Completely. I think one thing that was always taught to me is in a restaurant, there's no such thing as free time. There's just reallocating time. And if I can reallocate time from sitting at the end of a shift, sorting through invoices, to going home earlier and getting an extra hour of sleep, seeing my family, you know, I think about the financial implication. Like, people, when they're at their best, provide a better product. And when you provide better products, you make more money, right? So how much can we eliminate of this like $1 time and start returning $10 time? Because if I can ensure that that product that is being sent out is to the standard that I want, because I'm not in the back office, or I made sure that the supply chain was up to snuff, and that random SKU that changed through my broadliner that slipped through the cracks is no longer slipping through the cracks, so we can keep that consistency. What I'm seeing is this opportunity for a basis points business, which are restaurants, to start to get a leg ahead. Because one thing is, and I'm sure you know as well as I do, there are so many bloody things happening in a restaurant.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
on top of dealing with guests.
That's why we like to take the tech stack out of their hands.
Yeah.
How many restaurateurs do you know that actually know about networking?
Yeah.
Right? Don't even waste time unplugging things, you know, resetting things, trying to troubleshoot things. Just call us, right? Yeah. Because that's not your specialty. I can't cook to save my life. So I don't, right? I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses. That's one of them. I'm not the cook in the house, it's my wife.
Yeah.
And so you think about like worry and perfect that, spend more time on that, and then it just returns
completely
tenfold.
Completely. How important is it, from your perspective, on choosing the right partners? Obviously, both of us come from the hospitality industry, and we understand how to speak that language, you know, being in that industry. But outside of the things that you and I both do, when you're looking to bringing on a new restaurant management system, you're looking to bring on a new reservation management system, like, how important do you find picking those right partners really are?
Extremely. So I paused there. I want to go back to the beginning with the brand, right? The reason why F3 as a brand has been so successful is that like these restaurants and bars and hotels know that we were going to bend over backwards, blow things up if we have to. We were going to not move until we solve that problem. Either we can solve it or we're going directly to the POS and we're going to raise enough alarms that we're going to get it solved, right? And so when it comes to being a partner with us, I look for that type of response in a partner. We get, I kid you not, at least 20 requests a month to be partners with F3.
Yeah.
And it's cool. But if you're not the F3 standard in your own industry, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I want someone that if something breaks, Arun Kumar is a prime example. Something was wrong with Incentivio. I called her and like, yo, I need this fixed like ASAP because I vouch for you. And my vouch doesn't just go for anyone. It's I have to be able to know that I can call you when things are on fire and you can help firefight with me. Yeah. Because those, you don't know the background of that restaurant or that collective or that person. You don't know what they're going through. Yeah. And then again, you have smaller margins and every dollar counts. We had an AWS outage. Yeah. How much did that affect the restaurant industry right there? Who's fighting for them? Yeah. So I'm very big on partners being that way. And that's why even before we collaborated, you guys were right in our wheelhouse. You know, it was the brand was based upon core values that matter and giving back and helping restaurants, not making an extra 15 points.
Yeah. Well, I think ultimately, as a company that's partnered now with F3 and shares that value, we can either try to shave off a few basis points here or do it the right way and win 15 more deals. And in the grand scheme of things, that's going to make you more money in the long run. Is it going to take you more time? Definitely.
But that's fun, right? Coming out and winning and continuing to win, that's the fun of it all. And that's the wins are what you start chasing.
Yeah.
You want to have more wins, not just for yourself, but for your brand, for your employees, for your personal life. You want more wins. So you're correct.
Yeah.
15 more wins is going to feel 15 times more better.
Exactly. Than cutting a corner somewhere one time that screws everything up.
Right.
When we look into the tech stack now moving forward into what's coming through in the pipeline in the next couple of years, is there any big trend that you've seen right now as being especially exciting for maybe whether it be yourself as a partner or the operator themselves?
Am I allowed to say you guys?
Sure.
Yeah, no, I think what you guys are doing is phenomenal. The approach you guys are taking for your credit card stuff, and I'm not going to go into details because they can always change, right? But like what we're dealing with and how we're using you guys for us is a game changer. Like what people don't realize about having your own business is like, you're either using your own money or you're finding ways to go get money, but you're usually paying a high percentage points of that money, right? So to be able to use your platform and to be able to have my text travel, and I know, first off, I know I'm okay. Second off, I know that because of the way you guys do your limits, it's going to make my life easier. And then thirdly, like I know the transactions are all recorded the correct way, and I don't have to hear Hunter calling me like, hey, where's the receipt for this?
Yeah.
Hey, what was the charge? Because there's nothing I love more than having Hunter ask me for receipts and statements and stuff like that. So I think what you guys are doing is truly groundbreaking in our industry. We've seen it before with like a Robinhood card, all that stuff, right? But no one's done it to the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
And I think you guys will be a force to be reckoned with pretty quickly.
Well, I appreciate that. It's definitely something that we take a lot of pride in. And the restaurant industry is a $1.5 trillion industry, like $1.5 trillion in sales annually. And yet big banks look to restaurants as they're just going to fail.
Yep. 100%.
And yeah, there are a lot of restaurants that fail. There's a lot of dentists who retire and decide they want to open up an Irish pub and they fail. But there's also a lot of really great operators.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really strong operators that are playing a man down, a hand behind their back, because nobody wants to look into it.
If you use AI, but also though, think about this. If you give someone, I'm a big believer of like, if you take enough small things to alter the odds in your favor,
completely,
it can change everything, right?
Yeah.
So having access to capital, right? Like I've taken out loans before for F3. They are brutal. They are ugly. They are gross. But like so the amount of money I've spent in interest on loans, like could have paid my house off like 4 times. But having access to that gives them a leg up and the ability to do more.
Yeah.
And not spend so much more money. I had a bar when I was 25 years old. Terrible, great idea, but I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to save.
Yeah.
Right? I was using cash for everything and it didn't work. I failed, right? But if you have the ability to have capital and not charge an arm and a leg, you're then giving them more of a runway.
Completely.
And you're in the tech industry, you know the term runway is very important.
Oh, it's incredibly important.
And so if you can give a restaurant an extra 6 months of runway, right? And the average is it 2 years? Or is it 2.2 years is the average fail time for a restaurant?
Yeah, and the numbers become quite interesting. Like once you pass, I think it's saying like 9 months, then every single month after that, you go up like 100%. And then once you reach like you said, two and a half years.
If you make it 2.5 years, I believe that's the safe zone, right? But let's say that you have a restaurant that their runway is 2 years, but they have access to capital through you guys now, and now they can get to 2.3 years, right?
Yeah.
The next month they can get to 2.4, right? Like you just give them that ability to keep going. Eventually, hopefully, they can succeed.
Oh, and then they can. That's the thing is like, what's so crazy about restaurants is they'll have a successful business within the first 8 months, but they still have to make it another 2 years before they can get to the products that would be representative of that success. Yep. It's like the world is looking to them and saying like, hey, you did a great job. Not good enough.
Yeah.
And our whole belief is like, if you've done a good job, get good products.
Right.
right? It's as simple as that.
I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but like, who gets to decide that? Why is that the deciding factor?
I think if you look at a business objectively and you see the revenues, you see their growth, you see their sales, you see what's going on, and you say, hey, this is a good decision, you make the decision.
Yeah. But everything's automated now, and it's just like yes, no, and
there are unique things about restaurants. Like restaurants don't have money sitting in bank accounts, right? A lot of the underwriting models have been built around small businesses or tech companies who have millions of dollars sitting in bank accounts. Restaurants don't have that. Doesn't mean they're a bad restaurant.
Right. How many? I mean, we can probably take a poll and ask how many are like cash flow positive right now.
Yeah.
How much money you guys got in your accounts just to have no?
I mean, there's a lot of people I know who are doing $30 million a year who have no more than 3 days of cash flow sitting in their business, right? And like it's been that way for 30 years.
Yeah.
But anyways, we don't need to get too far down this track. I think we see it eye to eye. There's some things that I'm really excited about. And I think that's when you look to this industry, there was a lot of fluff that came through. And there's a lot of businesses who have now remained, groups like F3. Who had to fight through that fluff and prove value. The fluff left, by the way, because it was never sustainable in the first place. But you also now have this immense knowledge for how things operate. And so you had tons of people build great businesses, compete to make those businesses great, sustain, and now they're sitting on a wealth of knowledge. So we have new age operators entering the industry. We've never seen more exciting young operators than right now entering into the restaurant industry, which is amazing. You see the breath of fresh air come in. There's groups like F3, companies like F3 that know how to support that. And then you have the modern advancements of AI of being able to actually deploy it in there. I see some really cool things. In that formula, what do you think is the missing link before it's complete perfection? Is it bringing in the old school hospitality? Is it adopting a new school hospitality? But where do we take that equation and make it guaranteed?
I think it's going to be a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You need those new operators to really understand hospitality. Just because you work in a restaurant for a year doesn't mean you're industry. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's, unfortunately, you need to cut your teeth really, really hard, right? So I think it's the time of them to understand what they're learning and how to operate efficiently and effectively as quick as possible. And I just think that's the key thing right there. Like, can that new person in the industry last? Mm-hmm. Or they can get chewed up and spit out like so many of us in the past, right? But I think the other side of it too is that because it's the younger generation, I'm 40, right? Like this younger generation is used to computers and stuff like that. So they already understand a leg up on the old school version of everyone, right? So I think if that time can shrink down a little bit, I think that'll be it. But I mean, it can't be any worse than it was 5 years ago, right? Yeah. So we got that going for us. Yeah,
it's true. I mean, I can believe it because I work within restaurants and so do you. But what is insane is just how many chips were stacked up against restaurants and yet so many did succeed. Yeah. And you now are seeing these really great business operators starting to make really big swings as chips are being put back into their corner. And you're seeing it even in just like the emergence of like the entire fast casual brands. Right? You look at groups like Convo or Sweetgreen and their ability to scale and the product they're providing. It's really quite exciting what it means to restaurants and the direction we're headed in. Thinking about F3 now, I know there's been a lot of growth that you guys have gone through working with new POS partners, different types of companies. What does the next 12 months look like for you? And in that, what's that exciting moment that you're looking for that is going to come, that's going to really kind of get you going and make you quite excited?
I can't say that one yet.
Okay.
That one has not been executed at the finish line yet. We have a new partner that we are at the finish line with to sign a contract with that I think will really just lift us up to the next level. Yeah. I think it's going to really change people's perception of us of just being a hospitality. Yeah. Just this little random company that's in my basement, which is kind of funny to me. But I think the next 12 months for us is going to be continued growth. I mean, we have doubled in size from a year ago. We have just killed our own internal revenue numbers. And we're just going to continue to keep growing, but also growing smartly and strategically because we don't want the ceiling to drop out from us, the floor to drop out for us, and just be really strategic with who we partner with for the POS side of things and that stuff. And so I think our next partner that we get to announce, I think it will be a great one.
When you say growth, does that to you mean the number of locations you work with? Does it mean the services that you're providing?
Both. So it's the number of locations that we have for F3 IT, it's the number of POS partners that we support and we implement for, but then also like the growth of hiring within F3.
Okay.
You know, one of my favorite things that to say to people when they say, what's your favorite part of your job is I provide a home for someone. Mm-hmm. There are 150 people that have houses or have kids, right? It's because of F3. Mm-hmm. And that's my favorite part of the whole thing. So we're going to see continued growth. You'll see it as we order more cards from you guys. I got a copy of all the emails. Everyone's adding their shipping address, stuff like that. But like, you're going to see us kind of just keep growing and becoming more of a known name within our industry. We're known, but we're not too known yet. And I kind of do like being incognito to some degree. But I think you're going to start to see us become more of a name.
What's a service that you'd love to get into that maybe you guys haven't really tapped into quite yet?
That's a good question. I mean, the services that we don't do now are by design. Like we don't want to drill, we don't want to run electricity, stuff like that. There really isn't anything that we don't do currently in some way, shape, or form I want to do more of, right? We don't do, right? So I don't really have.
Would you ever go into different venue types, get outside of maybe just the restaurant industry as a whole and start moving into different adjacent?
Yeah, I mean, we do cannabis as well. We're with Dutchy. We are also with Vori and Scotch, who are in the retail space and then also liquor store space. Mm-hmm. So like we are kind of coming out of just hospitality itself. So who knows?
Some exciting stuff. It sounds like there could be there.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and I wish I could say it right now, but cannot.
Well, Dan, thank you so much for sitting down to chat with me. I think it's a great time for you to actually introduce yourself. I know we've had this conversation, but tell us a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, my name is Dan Diaz. I am the CEO and founder of F3 Technologies based out of Chicago, Illinois. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I have 3 kids, 2 dogs. I live in the southwest side of Chicago. I've known you guys now for about 4 years. I met at NRA, our very first NRA, which was so disappointing for me because I didn't know what to expect. I just had my own booth that year. But now we've come a long way, and 9 different point of sales rely on F3 to do their installs, go lives, and implementations, and possibly about 4 more. I guess I guess the number's not 9 anymore. I got to recount that. But yeah, I'm just an ex-bartender who just kind of started a random IT company, and here we are 5 years later.
It's amazing. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sitting down. Appreciate it.